Hey there, welcome to Crafting Unedited. My name is Sierra, and today we are going to learn how to make a cake topper using Cricut Design Space and my maker. You can use any other Cricut machine. I just use the maker, so all of the settings that I will show you are in Design Space for the maker. If you have the Explorer or one of the Explorer family machines, all you have to do is adjust your dial to custom and then follow the exact same steps. So a couple of things you're going to need first are some craft board. That is what I use. You can use any other type of cardstock as well. I do suggest that if you're going to use cardstock, like basic 80 pound or 120 pound, whatever you may have, cardstock, that you do layer your design. So do a couple of layers. So do a couple duplicates. Words are hard. To make it a little bit thicker, that way when you cut it and you go to put it in the cake, it's not all like bendy and whatnot. So craft board is what I use, and the reason being, I'm going to show you a piece real quick, just a scrap piece, is because it is not as bendy. So let me find a piece of cardstock here. So this is a piece of cardstock. You notice that when you hold it up, just like it would be held up on a cake, it's doing all this. This is a piece of craft board. It stands up on its own pretty well, which I like. Not only that, it comes in this really shiny stuff. You can see my ring light right there. But I just prefer the craft board for my cake toppers because it's much more sturdy and easier to work with. Now, the only bad thing with the craft board is that it's one-sided. So if you are worried about having a cardboard backing to one of the sides of your cake topper, all you have to do is in Design Space, mirror your image for one of them. That way one is going to go on the back side and you have it like this, instead of like this. So if you're going to do a double-sided, great, more structure. Also, it hides the dowel rods or the popsicle sticks that you're going to put into the cake a little bit better as well. So totally up to you. I'm only going to do one layer for the sake of the video, and then maybe I'll do two. We'll see how I'm feeling. So that way I can show you the exact steps on how to glue it together as well. Let's go over on into Design Space. I'll show you all of the settings that I use for the craft board and what to do. We'll see you over there in a second. Alrighty, so you can see on my screen here that I have my image that I have created. It's basically Peace Out 2020. Yes, this is going to be a cake topper for a New Year's cake. We're just doing a little small thing at home with just an immediate family. So I decided I'm going to make a cake. Why not, right? So this is my cake topper. What I have done is I took the Peace Out sign image and then I created Out 2020, and I just did a little bit of, finagling with the letters, connecting them. I welded them all together so that they touch. Reason being is that when I go to cut it, I'm hoping that I don't have three different pieces. So I want it to all connect seamlessly. So that's what I've done, and I'm actually going to go ahead and duplicate it so that I can make that double-sided image for you. And how you flip this, you want to mirror it here just for sake of space on your mat. So basically you're going to go up to here to your top toolbar where it says flip, and you're going to flip it horizontally. That way you have it the way that you need it. I think that'll work because, hold on, I'm having a massive brain fart. It looks wonky now, but the way that it's going to cut, it should work. So anyways, moving on. This is a little bit bigger than I want, so we're going to bring this down to about, I think I only want it 4 inches wide. Same with this guy. There we go. And then we're gonna go over here to make it. Yes, it's going to work. I just figured out why. All right, so now we've got it over here in Make It. I'm gonna move this over just a little bit. Gonna go over to Continue. I've got my maker selected up here in the top. So if you have the Explore Air family, like I said, you're gonna go to Custom on your dialer, and then you'll go to Browse All Materials over here. So I'm going to use Craft Board. So I just typed that in the top search bar over here, and right there, Craft Board. Reason being is that the pressure is already set so that you don't have to worry about the it not cutting all the way through properly. So I'm gonna go down here to Done, and I'm gonna leave it at the default pressure. If it needs to go through again, I will process it through again. But I don't want to put more pressure on the blade because of the thin lines that I have in my image. You can see here that I do have, like on Out and 2020, those letters are a bit thin. So if I put more pressure, I risk tearing my craft board. All right, so we're gonna go on to, got all this here. And my Cricut is all set to go. I'm gonna hop back over onto the camera so that I can show you how I set up my mat. We'll see you in a second. Alrighty, we're back. So for your mat, what you want to do, what I do is, even though everyone suggests that you use the light grip mat for all paper products, I use my strong grip mat for the craft board. Reason being is that it's thicker and it's not cardstock, so it's not going to tear off like cardstock does unless you have a brand new strong grip mat. Always suggest de-strong gripping your mat for the first round, meaning take your sweater or any other towel and just tap around on it so that it gets some of the glue off. Not all, some of the glue. Same thing with the strong grip transfer tape. If you have that beast, one, just throw it away if you want, if you don't care about wasting your money. But if you do, before you put it on any type of vinyl except for glitter, make sure that you take your sweater or your pant leg and just kind of tap it on there a few times to get rid of some of that stickiness, so that it does let go of your vinyl when you go to apply it to whatever. Side tip there. So what I've done here is on my strong grip mat, my strong grip mat has lost a lot of its adhesive because it's been used very well and very well loved, and I need to clean it, but that's besides the point. So I use some painter's tape up in the corners just to make sure that it doesn't move around. And then I just have my craft board on there and we're ready to send it through the maker. I'm going to go ahead and set that up here. So while that's processing, with the craft board, it's not thick enough for you to have to worry about moving your stars all the way over. It's not going to indent like the chipboard would. So you just put it through the maker like you would any other cardstock. That is cutting, so success. So while that's cutting, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what you need to glue it together. I typically just use Mod Podge or regular Aleene's tacky glue, this stuff here. I do have the quick set stuff upstairs, not down here, but we'll use this for today. I love this stuff. It works very well, and you can get it at the Dollar Tree. A smaller bottle, of course, but a Dollar Tree. So it is very inexpensive, and it works really, 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 really well. The quick set stuff you can get at any craft store or even on Amazon. Links below, and that stuff sets within seconds. This takes a few minutes to set, so a little bit tricky there. Or you can just use Mod Podge. Whatever type of glue you have works. For me, I am going to use one popsicle stick, and I'm gonna grab that real quick because that is what I have. I have these thick, fat guys here. I use this for mixing epoxy, but I'm gonna take my peace out sign, my hand, and I'm gonna put it right here between the two peace out signs. and that way it's hidden, but then I have a sturdy stick base for my cake topper, and it doesn't look bad. So we got all that. And then for me, because I am using that tacky glue, not the quick set stuff, I'm gonna have my painter's tape on hand to just tape my design together until it sets. That way it doesn't slide off or do anything weird like that. All right, so almost done there. Side note, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that now so that you can see all my cool videos and tutorials, and drop a comment. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me what you want to see me to make. Tell me what you want me to make for you so that you can learn how to do it without wasting your own time, money, or materials. That's how I've gotten a lot of my ideas, and I love it. I love hearing what you want to see. I love hearing what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. So if I'm doing something that you don't agree with, sorry, not sorry. But if you have a better way of doing what I am doing, drop a comment and let me know. I love to work smarter, not harder. So, and I want to show you how to do that too. And others, you know, we're in this together, this crafting world, not 2020. We're in 2020 together too, but that's whatever. All done. Let's check it out. So first, before I even unload my mat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pull up a piece of the image to see if it needs to go through again or if it's good. Give me 1 second. So unfortunately, because of the font that I used, you can clearly see here what I was talking about. Even on the default pressure, it did that. It pulled up the craft board, which kind of stinks. So, whoops. All right, so what that means is I am just going to use what I can from this because I don't like to waste stuff. And that's going to be the peace signs. I will use those for something else. But yeah. I kind of figured this would happen just because I did use a thin font. You can see here. What a mess. All right, so we are going to redo this whole thing. All right, so no worries, no worries. It's just a piece of craft board. I'm not worried at all. So what I'm going to do, pull that off, and that's why I use painter's tape, because no tears. All right, we're gonna set this off to the side over here. I'll deal with that later. So I'm gonna go over into design space, hit finish, and instead of using this, I'm just going to type out 2020, oops, not 2020, and use a different font, something quick but also kind of on the thicker side. And then how I get my letters together is I go up here and I ungroup to letters, and I just move them over a little bit, connecting them. They don't have to connect fully, just enough so that you can still read what it says, but they are together so that I want them to align. So I'm going to weld this back, take these, weld those back, hang tight, almost there. Going to align them so that they are centered. There we go. Whoops. And then move them all over the place. There we go. They are centered. So now I'm going to weld it together, drop it down the size, which was, we'll go with 3 inches wide. And then we're going to duplicate it, mirror it, make it. Sorry, I don't need to have my back to you. All right. Continue. Same thing. Just getting my stuff ready here. Browse all materials. Craft. Done. And we are ready to load my craft board again. So all I'm going to do is flip this around and use this side. Alright, so same thing. Get it on the mat. Use some painter's tape in the corners. So that it doesn't move around. Get said painter's tape stuck. Try that again. All right. So, while that's cutting, a little bit about me, if you haven't gathered so from my previous videos, and if you're not a subscriber. I am not the type of crafter where I'm going to edit out what I just effed up. I am the type of crafter who is going to leave what I effed up in the video so that you can see I'm a human, I make mistakes. You're gonna make the same mistakes probably, and I'm gonna show you how to adjust. So for things like those fine lines, you can't use materials like craft board. And I should have known this because craft board, perfect example, does this. So craft board has, especially this jewel pack, has this film. I don't know if you can see it, but right here. And what that film does is it separates, as you can see, and that's what gives it its super shininess. But it separates from the board, and with those thin letters, the blade just peels that for some reason. And it's just because they're so thin. Like here, you can see how thin it is. Right there. That is one thin letter. Now, things that are like this thick, totally fine. But the swirls that I had on that design didn't work very well. So, just a side note, the swirls and embellishments for craft board might not work. Same with cardstock, because it's just gonna, it's so thin that when the blade goes this way and then goes that way, it has nowhere else to go. So it's just gonna go this way and then right on top of the other side. Super thin. So bigger decal or a bigger project, better turnout. All right, anyways, that one turned out really great. So we are going to check the mat, make sure it pops out, sure does. And take our painter's tape off here. And drop things everywhere. It's a craft room. It's messy. It's going to be. Another thing about me, I'm real, man. If my craft room's a mess, it's because I am making things and I don't care. Come on. Should not be this difficult. I'm really trying not to tear it though. It's just stuck. There we go. Stuck. The twos are giving me a headache here. See? Out 2020. Alright, so we're gonna do a little more gluing than I expected, but that's totally fine. And I might need a second popsicle stick. Set you off to the side here, tape and all. We're gonna go ahead and finish removing all of the pieces I don't need. Here. There we go. So as you can see, I have my two sides here, and every now and then you'll get like this here where it didn't cut all the way across. No biggie. That's what scissors are for. You just take a pair of scissors and carefully just go ahead and cut that off. All right, so because I mirrored it the way that I did, I now have a double-sided topper. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab another popsicle stick. What the end result will be is I'm gonna take popsicle stick between my peace out sign. You can make like little, what do they call those? Selfie stations with these popsicle sticks. Just cutting off some of the excess here. And then we're gonna glue it together. Gluing it's super easy. You just glue it like you would any other art project. Alright, good enough for me. Maybe. There's a little piece on there. I'll get that off later. So take this, take your two sides, put them back to back, shove it in there, and then you have your peace out sign. Woo! So I'm going to glue every piece of this around the, you could also use hot glue for the craft board because it's so thick. Every piece around here, which I might just use hot glue. And then for the out 2020, same thing, except for, don't know where I'm gonna put the popsicle stick because no matter where I put it, you're going to be able to see it. Which kind of sucks, but I might have to finagle this because I don't like that. So what I might do is just glue the out 2020 to peace sign. Shouldn't be this difficult. But if I would have had it together like I had on the first project, I wouldn't have had to do this because I would have just connected it already. But this is what the end result is going to look like. I'm not going to make you sit here while I glue it, so I'm just going to go over, glue it, and then I'll hop back on and show you the final product. Alrighty, I am back after some intense gluing. Just kidding. I did use hot glue because it was easier, and here we go. Now, my cake's not going to be that thick probably. I got glue everywhere. But that's okay, because I can just snip it off if I need to. But we have Peace Out 2020, and not only can it be a cake topper, but it can also be one of those selfie things. Just kidding. Don't ever do that. Anyways, so yes, this is what your cake topper will look like. You can choose to have it with 2 sticks if you want, or 1 stick. I chose 1 stick because I didn't like how it looked if when the other stick was there, because then it blocked out part of my image, and I don't like that. So this is the final result. If you have made cake toppers with your Cricut Maker, drop a comment. Let me know how it turned out. Let me know what products you used. I love hearing about it. And if you had any issues, like I did. So subscribe, like this video, and hit the bell so that you know when I'm on or when I have posted something new. That's all I got. That's how you make a cake topper with your Cricut. Until next time, we'll see you later. Peace out, 2020.